the call. This is Brian Bean, proud founder of Eighth One Enterprises and creator of Extra Digit Income. And I'm so excited tonight to share with you guys our financial strategy with the My Econ opportunity. Give you guys a better understanding. Please grab a pen and a piece of paper. You do not want to miss the next 10 or 15 minutes of the overview and an interview with a gentleman that was able to take $10 and turn it into several hundred millions in the past 20-plus years in business. I do not know a man who knows his stuff better than this individual. So hold on to your seatbelts. Now, if you're brand new on this call tonight, let me give you some understanding. As I stated earlier, our extra digit community and our company is not about a lot of fluff and puff. It's about strategy. It's about grabbing the bull by the horns and taking full responsibility for your financial future. It's about taking some basic baby steps today so that you won't have to struggle tomorrow. It's about making extra income now. It's about giving less money to the government and giving yourself a pay raise. And it's about creating long-term wealth and residual income so you can leave a legacy for your family. Now, who am I talking all this mess? And am I some kind of financial planner or multi-mogul millionaire extraordinaire? Absolutely not. I'm telling you guys right now, my name is Brian Bean, and I went to Morehouse College a few years ago. I graduated, well, actually a long time ago, in 1997. I got my degree in English, and I was really, really frustrated working a job in corporate America that I really couldn't stand, just to be honest with you guys. I was making about 3 figures every 2 weeks. I was overworked and underpaid, thankful for my job, but not really satisfied. I know a lot of you guys can relate to robbing Peter to pay Paul, and I had Peter and Paul looking for me, and I was just frustrated. Well, I got involved with an industry known as network marketing, relationship marketing, and I was able to increase my income from 3 digits to 4. You know, so you go from 3 digits every 2 weeks to 4 digits per week. It gets pretty exciting, right? And I was able to take that income to 5 figures a month and then ultimately high 6 figures a year. And I've earned 7 figures in the industry of speaking and coaching and training and networking. There's only one problem with that. The number one fear above death is speaking. So very few people were able to duplicate that. And I had a hard time accepting the fact that a lot of people I cared about couldn't grow their income one extra digit like I was doing in my early 20s. So I was blessed enough to retire when I was only 22 years old. That was 15 years ago. I'm 37 now. So for 15 years, I've been traveling the country sharing my message and getting people to change their mindset and their attitude. But I finally hooked up with a gentleman who had a strategy where whether you're a good speaker or not, whether you can do successful networking or not, whether you know a lot of people or not, he removes everybody's excuses by implementing a strategy. So I said, wait a minute, let's introduce people to a strategy and a concept where it doesn't matter what your skill set is, what your talent is, what your background is, anybody can do it. Here's how this works, guys, real quick, and I'll let the man himself explain what I missed. First and foremost, if you're on this call and you live in the United States of America, let's face 2 basic facts. Most of us wake up every day to go to a job for 2 reasons. We've already established a certain quality of life for ourselves, and number 2, we want to maintain that quality of life when we retire. But you have to maintain that same quality of life, and number 2, after retirement, without working. Now, here's the harsh reality. If most of us are living paycheck to paycheck right now and have more money going out than we have coming in, and we are working, how in the world do you keep doing it when you're not working? I think a lot of people think that retirement just means I kick back and my golden years are coming and the government and friends and family and the church and community will take care of me. But the problem is if you can't take care of yourself now, you got some obstacles that are keeping you from being able to do it later. So what we have to do is we have to have enough assets that actually work for us and bring us more money even when we stop working. That's the main reason most of us get up right now. Let's face it. We go to work to maintain a quality of life, and we want that sustained when we stop. Now, here's some obstacles. Number 1 is inflation. Think about it, guys. The gas prices what you're pumping today in your car, that's not what you were pumping 10 years ago. Okay, I remember when I could put $10 in my tank and ride all week long. You put $10 in your tank now, the hand won't even move in your car. So that's 2 gallons. So I want you to think about this for a minute. Inflation means what? The price of food, health care, daycare, your groceries, your gas, everything is increasing, but not at the same rate as your income. That's one hurdle you got to overcome. Hurdle number 2, most of us, because we don't make enough money, we put everything else on a credit card. Now you end up buying most of the things you purchase, you buy them twice with interest and debt, interest which creates debt in every area of your life. So now you have to purchase things on credit that aren't worth the plastic you putting them on. That's most Americans. Problem number 3, most people work a job, and a W-2 is probably the highest form of payment or the highest method in which your income comes in where you're getting taxed the most. So there are different strategies where you can give yourself a pay raise by simply not giving the government so much of your money. But most people have a job, guys, and guess what? The taxes come off the top. Problem number 4 is financial education. The problem is most of us don't realize you don't have to give 28 to 33% of your money to the government like we do for 40 years. If you could keep that, you would be a millionaire. So it doesn't take a lot of money. What it takes is a strategy. So when you put it all together, inflation, debt, taxes, and lack of education, all we have to do is learn what wealthy people do. Now, I'm going to shut my mouth because we have somebody, as humble as he is, who is extremely wealthy and done extremely well with implementing the strategy and software to help us overcome these challenges. And I won't give him a big to do, but I tell you, this guy's been in business over 30 years. This gentleman is the owner of our company. Love his spirit. Every time I'm around him, I laugh, and he just makes me feel like a brand new person. Mr. Ivy Stokes, welcome to the call, my friend. I'm so glad you could join us.
All right. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. I hope everybody out there can hear me tonight. And what I'd like to do before I get started, I just want to just take just a couple of minutes and just say that I am so thankful and blessed that Brian has decided to join forces with my Econ, because I know some of you have been knowing him even longer than I have. And so you've had the experience of being involved in his training classes, because Brian is an exceptional leader. And, folks, we do a lot of things, and I'm going to talk about some of the strategies that we have in my Econ that's going to help you build your finances. But in the end, the thing that most people lack is they need personal development, and they've got to have great leadership. Any organization that's going to grow, anytime people are growing, they need to be around people that can help them in terms of leadership and personal development. And I think all of you would definitely join in with me and say that Brian fits that bill. So I just want to say thanks, because I do appreciate him joining forces with my Econ, because not often do you find people that are successful in different companies and doing different things that's willing to come together and do that. So he's doing a great job. And also, I know I was listening when all of you introduced yourself. A few of you I've met, some up in the D.C., Maryland area, then a few others here in Atlanta. So I'd like to welcome you to the call, and also all the rest of you that I have not had the good fortune of meeting out there.
Thank you,
we're
sir.
doing a lot of exciting things in my Econ. My Econ is growing. We've continued to grow year after year after year. And one of the things that I like about my Econ is that you can present this business to anybody, somebody that's making minimum wage to somebody that's making $1 million a month, and that person will be able to understand very quickly that these are financial principles that we all need to do no matter what we do in life to provide our income and our lifestyle. And it's very simple, and you should know these things like the back of your hand, and in a period of time you will do that. The idea of my Econ is very simple. We help people attain personal financial success. Personal financial success is simply having enough cash flow to support your lifestyle, okay? Now, that's a different number for everybody, but the thing we all have in common is that money to support our lifestyle has got to come from two sources. Just as Brian said, in the early days, it comes from our labor or our career, We're out working every day to make that money, and later on it comes from our assets or our investments. Now, those assets and investments can be in the form of stocks, bonds, real estate, 401ks, pension plans, any type of financial vehicle that generates ongoing income. Most of us grew up in households where we were taught that to make the money that's going to support our lifestyle during our working years is going to come from our labor. And most of us, our parents and the community and people around us prepared us to do that. Go to school, get a good education, get a good career, find a good job, work, you make that money, or either build a business and you make that money. But what most didn't get coming up was how do you build those assets, because if you're going to have $1 million in your investment portfolio, then somehow you've got to invest the money to get that. Well, in my Econ, we work on both, and that's the difference. We show you how to accomplish the money for today and the money for your golden years. And your golden years, if you do it correctly, they doesn't have to be 25 or 30 or 40 years from now. That can be in the next 36 to 60 months. Now, those three strategies are very simple and clear. Number one, you're going to work on minimizing your taxes. Now, with our software, with our educational program, you're going to be able to minimize your taxes in about 15 minutes per month. It's going to be real simple. You got a business, you work on building your business, you keep your business records on our software program, and we're going to introduce our app for our software program, so you're going to be able to do that on your phone starting on this Wednesday. Okay, I think that's the 31st. So I just used it today and had some other people around the country use it. I'm going to send it over to Brian tonight, let him try it out a little bit, and you can just do it on your phone. Doesn't matter what phone you're on, you'll be able to use that app, okay? So that's 15 minutes a month. Then, of course, you're going to build your business just like any other marketing company. The only advantage in our marketing company is it's going to be very easy and simple for you to get promoted and start making some big checks, Brian has just been hitting that bonus every week, just hitting that bonus. And then he's got some of the rest of you out there that's very close to hitting the bonus. I know I've met a few of you, and I've been looking at your downlines, and so you're very close to hitting that bonus. In most companies, folks, you're talking about recruiting 20, 30, 40 people before you can start making some significant dollars. Well, in my Econ, it takes 2 people to get promoted. 7 people after you're promoted gets you a $1,000 bonus, plus you're going to make, the immediate money from that. So about 25 or 30 people is going to make you $5,000. Well, in most companies, the money that you make on your first 25 or 30 people all goes to your upline. Well, we believe that the best motivator in the world is a check. Once you get the check, you're going to be excited. The old saying goes that, that money raises your excitement level. So that's what that's all about. Now, you start getting your checks come in. We've got great residual income. Nobody's going in the hole. Everybody's making a profit in our business, literally. Here's why. $29 a month, and your business stays active. You have no forced, quotas. You're not having to buy product, $50, $100, $200 wholesale, turn around, sell that product retail. None of that. You pay your monthly fee, you get your paycheck. So you're growing your income. Now, of course, you're keeping your tax record, so you're saving $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 plus every year on your taxes, so everybody's making a profit. Then our last section that we use, the last strategy, is our cash flow success strategy. And that's something that you're going to do for the rest of your life, and you're going to teach your children to do the same thing. And all that is making money with your money. You see, it's real simple. If a person is making $50,000 on a job, they're paying $15,000 to $17,000 in income taxes. Well, you're going to make $50,000. We're going to show you how to lower those income taxes, put that money in your pocket. Now you're going to take that money and start investing. And we have educational classes where we can show you how you can grow your money at 7 to 12% a year through knowledge with some of the biggest, most stable financial companies in the world. Number one, you've got Vanguard. That's who President Obama uses to manage his money. You can get the same funds, the same rate of return on your money that he's getting on his. Then you've got Fidelity. You can do the same thing. No sales fees. You've got T. Rowe Price. No sales fees. Okay, we teach you how to do that. So now you've got minimizing your taxes, building your online business, and now making money with your money. And, folks, what that's going to do is just like a ship that's sitting out there on the water. When the tide goes up, your income and your financial stability goes up. See, it's not based on you being a super salesperson. It's based on a strategy. Now, here's the greatest part about it all. When you're saving money on taxes, okay, whether you're good in business, whether you're a great recruiter, great salesperson or not, and you tell somebody that you go, you tell somebody you work with, so, I am so happy because I've increased my income $500 a month with this new strategy I got. What are they going to say? Well, how do you do that? How does that work? Now you can introduce them to the business. So you don't have to introduce the business to people always on the idea of them being able to sell something. You're introducing the business to somebody on the success of you making money, and you're making the money in three ways. You're making money from taxes, you're making money from the business, and you're making money from your investments. And that's what every financially successful person in the world is doing. It doesn't matter if you own a restaurant, you're a real estate agent, it doesn't matter, you see. And so we put those strategies in there for you and give you the ability to go out and become super successful in business. And so I just appreciate Brian for giving me this opportunity to share this with all of you tonight. And, Brian, if you'd like, you can open up the lines in just a minute. I'll answer any questions that anybody's got. I do webinars every Monday night, and I'll be glad to help you any way I can. Another thing that I can help with, Brian, is that I travel. I was listening on the call as everybody introduced themselves. Just about every market that I heard somebody on this phone say that they're calling in from, I travel to those cities. So I'll get with Brian, and next year when I start my travel schedule, we'll put those cities on, and I'll be glad to come to your town, do a meeting, and help you build your business so you can start leveraging me along with leveraging Brian at the same time.
Well, I tell you what, man, I really appreciate it. And I was telling my personal assistant yesterday, man, I'm so excited about 2013 for everybody listening to this call. And the people who really do it, Ivy, the people who really implement the strategy, the people who understand that 7 people brings you $1,000, not once, guys. When he's talking about that $1,000 bonus, over and over and over and over, each time, just for learning a strategy, getting the software, becoming part of our company, getting financially intelligent, and showing friends how to invest in their future. You're earning thousands of dollars every week, every time 7 people get referred to our strategy, our software, and the implementation. But, Ivy, let me ask you a couple of questions because a few people submitted questions. So instead of doing Q&A like to the public, I already have them written down. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
A couple of quick things. I met a couple of your leaders and just shared maybe 2 quick testimonies, not even the numbers of the debt they had, if you want to, and how they became millionaires. But I met Keith Tucker. I met Jeanette Butler. Who are some people that were in a bad situation like 60 months ago and now $600,000, $1 million later? Who are some people you met in our organization that you helped?
Well, I'll just take one of the examples. I'll just take Miss Butler as an example. She's a lady that's here in Georgia, a little bit north of Atlanta. When she got in our business, she had $250,000 worth of debt. It was costing her $3,500 a month to make the payment on that debt. Now, so she was just struggling along, paying her bills every month. She got in our business, and she changed her W-4 and her G-4 for herself and her husband. She picked up $1,244 a month. We'll just call it $1,200, okay? So immediately through the strategy, she's got a $1,200 a month pay raise. Now, most people would be like, yeah, but I'm going to owe taxes at the end of the year. Well, not really, okay? So she got that $1,200. Then at the end of the year, because she had a business, so see, before she wasn't writing off her car. She wasn't writing off her cell phone. She wasn't writing off her husband's cell phone. A couple kids had cell phones. She had a couple kids in college. When she paid their college tuition, she wasn't getting a tax write-off for that. So all of a sudden now she starts to do that in the business. So at the end of the year, she still got a $5,200 tax return check. So she got the $1,200 up front throughout the year, $1,244 a month, plus she got over $5,000 at the end of the year. That gave her $1,700 a month to work with, okay? Now, she takes that money and she dumps it on her debt. So within 23 months, she paid off all of her consumer debt. All she had then was a mortgage, okay? So now when that consumer debt is gone, and that consumer debt was about $2,300 of the $3,500 a month that she was using to pay all that debt, she started investing that money. So now instead of that money going, that $2,300 a month, instead of it going to pay debts every month, the $17,000 that she was getting, okay, so that's another $22,000. So now all of a sudden she's got over $4,000 a month more cash to invest.
Absolutely.
She started investing that money along with what she's making in the business. Her business started to grow because now all of a sudden she's telling people, and they can see that she's doing well financially instead of struggling. 7 or 8 years later, she's got over $600,000 in her investment account. She's totally debt-free. She's a millionaire. When you add in the value of her house, that's totally paid off, her retirement account's over $600,000, her pension from her job, plus her business, she's a debt-free millionaire today. And all of that, and 90% of that money did not come from her ability to sell products and services. It came from a strategy that she implemented.
Awesome, man. You got stories like that. I've met a lot of the people, and I hear when I hear those stories of people, average people who are struggling, now $500,000 plus in investments, assets, their business, no debt. You know, it's not as hard to make seven figures as people think. And Ivy, let me ask you this: let's talk about America in general, and we're going to talk about a lot of this Saturday, guys. You got to come. If you're in Atlanta, man, I'm telling you, you don't make this meeting Saturday at the Crown Plaza, 9 a.m. to see Mr. Stokes talk about how to go from a 33% tax bracket on your W-2 to paying, 7 to 12% on your dividends. When you see his financial strategy and education for those few little hours, you will never be the same person. When you start getting checks that money is bringing you from making money, I'm telling you guys, y'all need to load up some vans and fill out that coupon on our website and get people in front of him. But Ivy, we'll give him a quick dose real quick before we close out. What's the common mistake most Americans are making right now? And I hate to lead you off, but the whole negative cash flow cycle versus positive, or however you want to talk about it, most Americans end up in trouble without even realizing it because what?
Okay, let me lead into that with this for a minute. See, guys and ladies, this is what we have to understand. Everybody makes over $1 million in their lifetime. Everybody. $10 an hour. Okay? That's $21,000 a year. That person is going to make $1 million in their lifetime. The government's going to take a third of it, and then they're going to get themselves in a problem with debt. They're going to be, even if it's not a problem, even if they can pay the debt, they're going to charge things. They're going to buy things on credit. So then they're going to lose another 25 or 30% of the money paying interest on debt. So they make $1 million. They spend $500,000 in the government, and the creditors take the rest, and that person says, I'm struggling. So here's the real problem. The biggest problem people have is they overpaid their taxes because they don't understand how taxes work. So we got to solve that problem. Second thing, that's going to give you the money to get rid of your debt problem. Everybody would love to be debt-free. They just don't have any money to pay the debt off, so they can't. Now, so to go back and to address the number one problem that people have in this country is two cash flow cycles: cash flow failure and cash flow success. Cash flow failure is real simple. When you overpay your taxes, you pay interest on debt, but it's a little lot. You're paying interest on debt. That's cash flow failure because your lack of capital, your lack of cash flow is causing you to pay money to make other people rich. See, if you've got a credit card and you're paying interest on it, somebody is earning interest on that credit card. You don't want to be the one that's paying it. You want to be the one that's receiving it. How do you do that? Well, you got to own stock in Visa. You got to own stock in Capital One. You got to own stock in Wells Fargo. So now people are paying you interest and you're paying them interest. You got to reverse the cycle. You see, capitalism is exactly what it means. The system is based on capital, capitalizing on capitalizing on your money or capitalizing on somebody's lack of money. See, think about it. What sense does it really make if somebody pays their phone on a prepaid, pay in advance, and they pay more than people that pay postpaid? That's just a capitalistic mindset. They're saying, well, the person doesn't really have a lot of money, or they probably don't have a lot of money, so we can charge them more because they don't have money. And what you've got to do is take charge of your life and say, you know what, I'm going to move myself from cash flow failure cycle. I'm going to jump over into cash flow success cycle, and I'm going to get paid rather than do all the paying. And every one of us have the ability to do that, you know, and that's what we teach people in our business. See, one of the big problems in the networking industry, networking is a wonderful industry. It's generated billions of dollars. I love this industry, but one of the things that most people never get is that the number one thing in networking is not just selling stuff, making money. In other words, the number one thing in a restaurant is not just selling food, bringing in capital.
Mm-hmm.
No, once you open up a restaurant and you bring $1 million in, well, if you overpay for your food, you pay high tax at the end of the year, you're buying all your food on interest, you can make $1 million in cash flow in a restaurant and still not being successful. But if you deal with the financial part, cut your food costs, lower your taxes, don't pay interest, take that difference and invest it, 2 or 3 years later, you got 2 restaurants. 2 or 3 years after that, you got 3 restaurants. See, no matter what the business is, you've got to understand the financial side, because the financial side is where the wealth is, not the product side. The product side can generate income, but it can't create wealth.
Well, Ivy, I tell you what, man, our 30 minutes is up. How about this? And I don't want to put you on the spot, and if you can't do it, don't. How about we do, leading into the weekend, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, can we do one of these calls and keep schooling them and do some more Q&A the rest of the week? Or what days can we do one of these until Thursday?
We can do one on Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesday, I'll be doing some on Wednesday, so let's do Tuesday and Thursday.
All right, I tell you guys what, that works out perfect because Wednesday I do my normal webinar anyway. So here you go, guys. We're going to have Ivy Stokes again tomorrow night. Brian Bean and Ivy Stokes, same time, same number, part 2. Wednesday, I'll be doing my webinar, and then we'll catch you guys again Thursday with part 3 as we lead into Game Changer in Atlanta this weekend. Ivy, you're a star, man. I appreciate it. Hey, guys, if you're brand new, visit our website, eighthwonder.org, and watch Mr. Stokes in action. He breaks down how you get paid, the weekly bonuses, the monthly bonuses, the small investment, $179. Some of you guys, your children are wearing $179 tennis shoes right now, so let's not make excuses, okay? Let's go into 2013 with a bang. The number 8thwonder.org if you want to understand more about the business, and Game Changer ATL to take advantage of the coupon and see myself and Ivy Stokes in action for 3 days straight, November 2, 3, and 4. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night for part 2. Let's load up that call, guys. 10:25, same time, same number. You guys